Right now, millions of people over 60 are taking their blood pressure pill at exactly the wrong time. Not the wrong pill, not the wrong dose, the wrong time. And the result is not a slow, quiet problem that builds up over years. It can be a fall in the dark hallway at 2 in the morning, a fractured hip, a trip in an ambulance that nobody saw coming. Here's the part that makes this so hard to believe. The people most likely to get the timing wrong are the ones who are trying the hardest to do everything right. They read the headlines, they ask questions, they take their pill every single night, right on schedule. Organized, careful, consistent, and still they are in danger. In the next few minutes, you are going to find out exactly what is happening inside your body when you take that pill before bed. You are going to hear about a hidden pressure pattern that most doctors never explain to their patients. You are going to learn which type of blood pressure medicine is basically scheduling you for midnight bathroom trips and why those trips can end with you on the floor. And at the end, I am going to give you 5 real questions to bring to your doctor that could honestly change your life. Stay with me, because the mistake we are talking about is sneaky. It does not look like a mistake. It looks like a healthy routine. That is exactly what makes it so dangerous. Your blood pressure is not a number. It is a roller coaster. Most people think of their blood pressure like a shoe size. One number. Basically fixed. You get it checked at the doctor, it says 130 over 80, and you carry that number around in your head like it is who you are. But that is not how blood pressure actually works. Not even close. Your blood pressure rises and falls dozens of times every single day. It goes up when you wake up. It goes up when you feel anxious, when you are in pain, when you are cold, when you stand up too fast. It drops when you are relaxed, when you are sleeping, when you lie still for a long time. It is not a number. It is more like a wave that never stops moving. Now here's where it gets important. Most healthy people, when they fall asleep at night, experience what doctors call a dip. Their blood pressure naturally falls by about 10 to 20% while they are sleeping. Think of it like your body taking a breather. The heart rate slows, the blood vessels relax. Everything quiets down. That is totally normal. That is actually a good sign. People who dip overnight generally have healthier hearts over time. But here's the problem. If you take a blood pressure pill right before bed, that pill is going to start doing its job just as you are falling asleep. The pill pushes your blood pressure down, and your body's natural nighttime dip is also pushing it down. You now have two things pulling in the same direction at the same time, during the very hours when you might get up suddenly to use the bathroom. So picture this, you are lying in bed. Your blood pressure has been quietly sliding lower for a couple of hours. Then, at 2 in the morning, your bladder sends a signal. You sit up, you swing your legs over the side of the bed, you stand up, and in that moment, your body needs to instantly send blood rushing up to your brain. In a 30-year-old, that adjustment happens so fast you would never even notice it. The blood vessels tighten in a split second. The heart speeds up. Everything balances out before you take your first step. But in a 70-year-old or 80-year-old, that adjustment is slower. The sensors that trigger it are less sharp. The blood vessels are stiffer and do not respond as quickly. And if your blood pressure was already at its lowest point of the entire 24-hour day, that adjustment has almost nothing to work with. Your brain gets less blood for a few seconds. The room tilts. Your knees go soft. And suddenly you are reaching for something that is not there. That is what researchers at the University of Utah found in a 2025 study published in a major physiology journal. Older adults show significantly more blood pressure instability when they stand up during the night compared to younger adults. The circadian clock, the internal 24-hour rhythm inside your body, affects how well your blood vessels respond when you stand. And that response is weaker in older adults, especially in the middle of the night. This is not a rare or unusual problem. A large review of 63 studies covering more than 51,000 people found that seniors who experience drops in blood pressure when they stand are 73% more likely to fall than those who do not. And here is the part that really should make you pay attention. A recent study found that 2 out of 3 older adults who have this kind of pressure drop when they stand do not feel any dizziness at all. No warning, no obvious signal. They just fall. That is the invisible trap. You feel fine. You take your pill, you go to sleep, and your body is quietly setting the stage for a fall that feels like it came from nowhere. The water pill problem nobody talks about. There is a specific type of blood pressure medication that makes everything we just talked about dramatically worse, and it is one of the most commonly prescribed medicines in the world for people over 60. It is called a diuretic. Most people know it as a water pill. Water pills work by telling your kidneys to pull more salt and fluid out of your blood and push it into your urine. Less fluid in your blood vessels means lower pressure in those vessels. Simple, effective, and used by millions of people every day. But here is the catch. All that fluid has to go somewhere. It has to come out, which means more trips to the bathroom. When you take a water pill in the morning, most of that extra urination happens during the day. You are up and moving around, you are awake. If you feel slightly lightheaded, you notice it. You can sit back down, you can hold on to something. You are dressed, the lights are on, and you are ready. But when you take a water pill at night, the peak effect hits while you're asleep. Your body starts pushing out fluid at 1 in the morning, at 2 in the morning, at 3 in the morning. You wake up. You have to go. You are groggy. The lights are off. Your joints are stiff from lying still. Your balance is at its worst, and the blood pressure drop we just talked about is happening at the exact same time. Medical guidelines published by the National Institutes of Health are clear about this. Loop diuretics should be taken early in the afternoon so the effect ends before bedtime. If taken twice daily, the second dose should be at least 6 to 8 hours before you go to sleep. That is not a gray area or a maybe. That is a direct official recommendation based on patient safety. And yet, countless seniors are still taking their water pill at night, sometimes because they were told to take all their pills together at one time. Sometimes because they heard that nighttime blood pressure pills are better for the heart. Sometimes because no one ever explained the difference between a water pill and other blood pressure medicines. Here is the real-world result. A 2023 review published in the European Geriatric Medicine Journal looked at older adults coming into falls clinics and found that diuretics were among the top contributors to falls through nocturia, meaning nighttime bathroom trips, as well as through low blood pressure and dehydration. The recommendation from the researchers: consider whether the diuretic is being taken at the right time, or whether it needs to be taken at all. That last word is important too. Dehydration. Water pills make you lose fluid. If you are older, your sense of thirst is already weaker than it used to be. Your body does not send as strong a signal when it needs water. Add a warm house, a little less appetite, or a day when you did not drink much, and you can become mildly dehydrated without ever feeling thirsty. Mild dehydration makes your blood volume lower. Lower blood volume means there is even less cushion when your blood pressure drops, which means the fall risk from that midnight bathroom trip just went up again. It is like a row of dominoes. Water pill at night. More trips to the bathroom, worse dehydration, lower blood pressure, slower compensation when standing, dark hallway, groggy body, stiff joints, and at the end of that chain, a fall that everyone calls an accident, when actually it was a predictable outcome of a preventable timing mistake. The great bedtime debate. And what the science actually says now. For years, there was a debate swirling through cardiology circles, morning or night. Which is better for blood pressure pills? In 2019, a large study called the Hygia Chronotherapy Trial came out of Spain, claiming that taking blood pressure medicine at bedtime reduced heart attacks and strokes by almost 50%. That number spread like wildfire. Doctors started recommending nighttime dosing. Patients switched their routines. Health websites declared bedtime the winner. The internet basically made up its mind. Then the scientific community took a closer look, and things got complicated. In August 2024, the results of 2 major new clinical trials, the BEDMED trial and the BEDMED-Frail trial, were presented at the European Society of Cardiology Congress, one of the biggest cardiology meetings in the world. These were large, rigorous, randomized trials. The kind of evidence that actually settles debates, and their conclusion was the opposite of that earlier Spanish study. Evening dosing of blood pressure medication showed no benefit over morning dosing. No reduction in heart attacks, no reduction in strokes, no reduction in deaths, and in frail elderly nursing home residents, the same result. No advantage for bedtime. None. A review published in 2025 covering research from 1995 all the way through 2024 summed it up clearly. Current evidence is not strong enough to recommend that everyone take blood pressure medication at night instead of the morning. The decision should be based on the individual person's risks, lifestyle, and medical history. So let me say that plainly. The idea that nighttime dosing is better for everyone is not supported by the best available evidence we have right now. It was a theory that sounded logical, got promoted heavily, and then did not hold up when tested properly. And here is what makes this important for you personally. The harm from poorly timed nighttime dosing in a senior who gets up at night, who has stiff blood vessels, who takes a water pill, and who lives alone. That harm is very real and very documented. The benefit of nighttime dosing over morning dosing, according to the best trials we currently have, it does not exist in a way we can measure. That does not mean nighttime dosing is wrong for everyone. There are specific patients, specific medications, and specific patterns where a doctor might reasonably choose evening dosing. For example, some people who do not dip enough overnight have blood pressure that stays dangerously high during sleep. For those people, adjusted timing under medical supervision makes sense. But that is a personalized decision made with monitoring and thought, not a headline, not a friend's advice, not a short video someone watched on social media. The Cleveland Clinic published a clinical commentary on this exact topic in early 2026 saying the same thing. Focus should be on achieving blood pressure control and facilitating adherence. Current evidence is insufficient to recommend routinely dosing in the evening instead of the morning. The bottom line? There is no magic clock time that works for every person. The right time is the time that controls your pressure, fits your life, and does not create new dangers in the process. The signs. Your body is already trying to warn you. Here is something that should concern everyone reading this. Most seniors who are being harmed by poorly timed blood pressure medication never connect the dots. They notice symptoms, they explain them away, they blame aging, bad sleep, stress, or just having a tough morning. And then one day, they stop on the top step and the floor rushes up to meet them. So let us talk about what your body actually looks like when its blood pressure is dropping too low overnight, or too fast when you stand. You wake up in the morning feeling strange. Not sick exactly, just off, a little foggy, like there is a layer of cotton between you and the world. You sit up slowly and feel a rush of emptiness behind your eyes, almost like the room pauses for a second before it settles. You grab the edge of the mattress before you stand. You have started doing that without even thinking about it. You get to the bathroom and you hold the sink for a moment. Not because you feel dizzy exactly, just because it feels safer. You take a few steps and the steadiness comes back. You brush it off. This is just what mornings feel like now. That is not just aging. That might be your blood pressure crashing while you sleep and still recovering when you wake up. Other signs include feeling worse first thing in the morning than at any other point in the day, needing to sit back down after standing. Noticing that your blood pressure reading looks better in the afternoon than it does first thing. Having what feels like a mental fog for the first hour or two after waking. Getting up to use the bathroom at night more than once or twice and feeling unsteady during those trips. And here's the one that almost nobody reports to their doctor. The near fall. The moment where you grabbed the wall or you stumbled on the rug, or you got to the bathroom and had to hold the towel bar for longer than usual. People do not mention this because they did not fall. Nothing happened. But something did happen. Your blood pressure dropped. Your body compensated just barely, and next time, the margin might be smaller. One study found that among older adults with the kind of blood pressure drop we are talking about, delayed recovery was one of the most significant predictors of actual falls. The body was trying to fix the problem, just too slowly. And the gap between trying and succeeding is exactly where people get hurt. There is also a psychological trap built into all of this. Many seniors have been so focused for so long on their blood pressure being too high that they celebrate when their numbers look low. A reading of 108/62 sounds like a success. But if you got that reading right after standing up and you felt dizzy while you took it, that is not a success. That is a warning. Blood pressure that is too low at the wrong time is just as dangerous as blood pressure that is too high. The brain needs steady blood flow. When that flow drops suddenly, even for a few seconds, everything downstream suffers. Balance suffers, vision blurs, thinking slows. And on a set of stairs, or in a dark hallway, or on a wet bathroom floor at 3 in the morning, a few seconds is all it takes. What to do now and how to protect yourself. Let me be completely direct with you here. Do not stop taking your medication because of anything in this video. Do not switch the timing on your own. Do not skip a dose. Do not double up if you forget one. All of those actions can create problems that are worse than the one we are trying to solve. What you can do starting today is become a much smarter patient about this specific issue. The first thing to do is write down every single blood pressure or heart medication you take and the exact time you take each one. Not approximately. Exactly. This list is going to be important. The second thing is to keep a simple log for 1 to 2 weeks. Every morning when you wake up, write down how you felt getting out of bed. Did you feel dizzy? Did you need to hold something? Did the room feel like it paused for a second? Write down every nighttime bathroom trip and whether you felt steady or unsteady. Write down any morning where you felt foggy or off. The third thing is to check your blood pressure twice at the same time. First while sitting down, then again after standing for 1 minute. If your standing number is more than 20 points lower than your sitting number, and especially if you feel anything when you stand, that is a pattern your doctor needs to know about. The fourth thing is to look hard at whether you are on a water pill and when you take it. If it is in the evening or right before bed, that is a specific conversation to have with your doctor or pharmacist right away. According to national clinical guidelines, loop diuretics taken at bedtime cause or worsen nighttime urination and should ideally be taken at least 6 hours before sleep. That is not a minor detail. That is a safety issue. The fifth thing is to bring your log, your medication list, and your blood pressure readings to your next appointment and ask this exact question. Is the time I'm taking my blood pressure medication increasing my risk of a fall or of low blood pressure overnight? That question alone, backed by the information you have gathered, can open a conversation that changes everything. If you live alone, this is even more urgent. A fall at night when nobody is there to help is not just painful. It can mean hours on the floor before anyone knows. It can mean a level of fear that makes you less willing to move around your own home. It can mean the beginning of losing independence that took a lifetime to build. None of that has to happen, because the problem we are talking about is not your age, it is not your diagnosis, and it is not your medication itself. It is the timing, and timing, unlike aging, can be fixed. The right schedule is the one that controls your blood pressure during your highest risk hours, fits your daily life, and does not turn your nightly bathroom trip into an obstacle course with your health on the line. Your doctor can help you find that schedule, but they can only do it if you bring them the information they need. If this opened your eyes, do me a favor and hit the like button, because it helps this information reach more people who need it. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next video, where we are going to talk about the blood pressure reading that actually matters more than the one you get at your doctor's office. And before you go, I want to hear from you. Have you ever changed your medication timing based on something you read online or heard from a friend? Drop it in the comments. You might be surprised how many people are in the exact same situation. Take care of yourself. The details matter more than people think.